Hey everyone, this is Britt Lightning from the band Vixen, and you're listening to the Far Out Podcast with Frank HANNON.
Give it up for Vixen!
You are listening to the Far Out Podcast, episode 20, brought to you by Gibson Guitars and the Monsters of Rock Cruise. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Far Out Podcast. This is the Far Out Friday preview of our live stream concert coming up Friday. That might be tomorrow if this is Thursday. Of the live stream Facebook concert live from the Monsters of Rock Cruise studios. We are going to drive down from Sacramento, California. The boys in Red Voodoo, JT Lux and myself, we're loading up the trailer and heading down. But on this episode, we are going to talk about the show, and we are going to have a special guest, Britt Lightning, the lead guitarist of Vixen. I interviewed Britt Lightning on the Monsters of Rock cruise last February. She was on the cruise with her mom, and it turns out that they love horses just like I do, and it was a great conversation. We talk about getting in the zone with horsemanship, and we talk about surviving the ups and downs of the music business. And since this interview was recorded, it turns out that Britt Lightning is the host of the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp Masterclass online series that you can sign up and join in on some masterclasses with legendary artists. I'm looking at their website right now. Mike Kroger from Nickelback, Vernon Reid, Mike Klink, the legendary producer, John Five on guitar. You can interact with Jack Blades from Night Ranger, Joel Hoekstra. Let's see, who else is on here? Marty Friedman. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's a killer program. And guess what? Yours truly, Frank HANNON, will be doing a class. It looks like September 8th, but please check out the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, rockcamp.com website for further details about my class and all these other killer classes. So I'd like to thank Britt Lightning for this great opportunity. She's going to be jamming with us Friday, July 31st with Red Voodoo. We're going to do a tribute to Sammy Hagar. But right now, I'm going to play you another piece of this Vixen live track where Britt Lightning is shredding on the guitar. Yeah, that's the guitar solo from a song called Rev It Up, a Vixen live track, and that's Britt Lightning. She will be joining us on stage with Red Voodoo doing our tribute to Sammy Hagar Friday, July 31st. That's coming up tomorrow night if you are listening here right now. So hey, before I get to the interview with Britt Lightning, I'm going to talk to Red Voodoo. That's right, Red Voodoo, the main attraction of tomorrow night's show on the Monsters of Rock Cruise Facebook live stream show, The Far Out Friday.
Rise up and be strong. Rise up and be strong. Rise up.
All right, you are listening to the Far Out Podcast. This is the Far Out Friday preview for the Monsters of Rock Cruise studio show we are going to do Friday, July 31st, 2020. The year is 2020, and we're going to rock it. We're going to come out of the lockdown, out of the isolation, and go down to LA to rock out with Red Voodoo, JT Lux, Britt Lightning, and myself, Frank HANNON, your host of the Far Out Podcast. Right now, I am sitting in the studio here with the boys from Red Voodoo. What's happening, guys?
Nothing much. How about you?
I've got Dino, Drew, and Nick. Nick, say hi to the world.
What's up, people? How you doing?
That's Nick. He plays drums. And we got Drew, the bass player. The guy with the biggest balls in the band.
I wouldn't say that, man.
No? Who has the biggest balls in the band?
Probably Nick.
Oh, Nick does. Nick the
The
Brick.
brick.
I'm just playing around. These are young guys. I should actually set a better example for you guys. I'm just having fun though. Anyway, guys, it's great to have you on the podcast. Dino, I'm going to talk to you first, man.
All right.
How excited are you to be rocking LA and actually going nationwide on the Monsters of Rock Cruise studio? What do you think, man?
It's really just a dream come true. A year ago, we were just playing bars and pubs just around the Sacramento scene. And now, fast forward a year, and we're, playing Monsters of Rock Cruise Livestream. It's really cool.
In the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, man. It's almost like Woodstock in a way.
Yeah, this is a chance for us to bust out of this isolation. But really what has busted us out is the song that we wrote together and called Rise Up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And we're really proud of Rise Up.
Well, I'm very proud to have worked on that song with you guys, and it's been a lot of fun producing you, and I'm really excited to take you down and expose you to the world live this Friday. Right now, I'd like to talk to Drew. Drew is the bass man.
Right on.
What's happening, Drew?
What's going on, everybody?
So, Red Voodoo, man. How long have you been in Red Voodoo, bro?
Let's see. I think it's been about a year now. They found me on a Craigslist ad. I remember my dad was picking me up from school, and he told me about this Van Halen cover band that needed a bass player. I don't know how. I just remember it was raining outside. I don't know why.
So you were originally a guitarist?
Yes, I was.
Did you sing too?
A little bit here and there.
Just a little bit? Because you sing excellent background vocals.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, most of the singing I did was pretty much with Red Voodoo.
Well, I think it's really cool that the guys found you on Craigslist, of all things.
Yeah.
Because what I really like about Red Voodoo is the chemistry. Obviously, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I think you are. I think you are aware of it, that the four guys that make up Red Voodoo definitely creates a sound. And as a producer and as an outside person who appreciates bands, a group effort, a team of four guys together that create a sound.
Yeah.
And you guys definitely have that for some young cats. How old are you, Drew?
I'm 17 at the moment.
17, man. And Dino, the lead singer, he's 17. And Nick, let's talk to Nick. He's the old guy in the band.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
The ripe old age of what, Nick?
21.
21. Man, I don't even remember being 21, bro. I'm in my 50s. After 50, you want to forget about it. But anyway, no, actually, I do remember turning 21. I was in Lakeland, Florida on the Def Leppard tour, and it was quite the party.
I bet, man. I bet.
I was 19 on the Mechanical Resonance album. We were talking about that earlier. But anyway, enough about me. Nick, let's talk about you, man. I know you play a lot of instruments, not just drums.
Yeah, I do. My main instrument is drums, but I also play some piano, which I started on. And there's always been drums in my house. I've seen pictures of me as a baby drumming. I also play guitar, bass, and I also sing a little bit.
You also sing?
Yeah, a little bit. I actually started out doing backup vocals in Red Voodoo, or as we were before a teaser, when cover band days.
One of the comments that I get about Rise Up, the song, is the chorus and the backing vocals on that. And, that's kind of cool. When we did it, it was all just one take in the studio. And I'll play a little sample of Rise Up for everyone here on the podcast to check out the harmonies that I'm talking about. But let's get back to drumming, Nick. Who's your favorite drummer of all time?
My favorite drummer of all time has to be Neil Peart from the band Rush. He's my biggest influence and has inspired me to be the drummer I am today. And the first main influence for me was Roger Taylor from Queen. I just loved his drumming since I was a baby, and I could remember playing We Will Rock You in my high chair doing the beat and stuff.
We actually tried to capture some Roger Taylor influence on Rise Up and that big tom-tom feel you do.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger Taylor's one of my favorite drummers, too. The tom-tom sound that he gets is freaking awesome.
And we can't forget his backup vocals. His vocals are signature.
Yeah, Roger Taylor's killer. Let's give the mic over to Dino. Dino, what's happening, bro?
Oh, just chilling, man. Just chilling out.
Chilling out on a hot day.
Hot day, yes, yeah.
Speaking of hot days, man, how hot was it when we shot that Rise Up video?
Man, I think, that was hot. That was about, 104 outside? I remember it because it was that hot.
Okay, guys, so let's tell everyone how real this is. What have you been doing for the past 2 hours on my ranch?
We've been picking up horse shit, Frank. Excuse my French, but just
Yeah.
calling it what it is.
Yeah, I call it horse trading, man.
Horse training, yeah.
And I've been on the phone all day working my ass off trying to set up this Monsters of Rock Cruise studio. And the way where you guys are paying me back is by
Picking up horse crap.
horse shit.
Horse shit.
For those of you that don't know, I have a horse ranch up here in Northern California, and it's a lot of work. So these boys have been helping me keep the ranch cleaned up and maintained and landscaped. And,
We've been learning a lot, though, so it's been
it's been like summer camp up here, huh?
yeah.
Well, hand the mic over to Drew. I want to talk to Drew a little bit more.
What's up?
So, Drew, what have you done today on the ranch?
Well, just like Dino said, picking up a lot of horse shit. And then I was spraying down the...
You were a hoser.
Yes, I was. Yes. Getting the dust out.
Yeah, using the
Yeah.
fire hose.
Yes.
Was that fun?
Oh, yeah, it's heavy.
It's a heavy
Very
thing.
heavy. My arms are sore already.
There's like over 100 pounds of water pressure coming
Yeah.
out of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 gallons a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally like a fire hose.
And what else did you do, bro?
I also got to, I learned how to use the tractor. I was pushing the piles of shit back.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the tractor.
Well, that's the theme of the Far Out podcast is, shit. No, musicians that can do other shit besides playing music.
Right.
Frank Hannon Productions would like to thank Gibson Guitars, Kramer Guitars, and Epiphone Guitars, and Diodario Strings for all their support. Join us Friday, July 31st at 6 p.m. for the Facebook live stream concert. Far Out Friday. All right, I'd like to take this time to thank my great friend and business partner, Dwayne Surface. He and I have been working together for almost 30 years, and he does all the killer graphics that you see, the poster art that we will have for sale on the Monsters of Rock Cruise live stream. And he's the one that encouraged me to do this podcast. So, Dwayne, I love you, buddy. Thank you for all your support. Right now, let's get back to the interview with Red Voodoo. All right, guys, we are back on the Far Out Podcast. I am talking to the boys in Red Voodoo, and we are heading down to Southern California this Friday, July 31st, 2020 at 6 p.m. for the Far Out Friday rock and roll concert live stream from the Monsters of Rock Cruise studio. Boys, how you doing?
Pretty good.
All right.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Doing great.
Doing great. It's great to have you on the podcast. You guys have been practicing your butts off. You've been working really hard. What do you have planned for the show here on Friday?
A lot of it, we've been really working hard on our original tunes. We have a pretty good lineup of our original stuff showcasing our talents with some awesome Sammy Hagar covers we got going. And
That's right. I want to let everyone know that we are planning a little mini tribute to Sammy Hagar.
yeah.
And why are we doing that?
Because Sammy Hagar is a big influence on the band and myself.
As a singer?
As a singer, yes.
And a performer.
That too, yeah. All the way around.
Yeah, tell everyone the first time you saw Sammy Hagar.
I saw Sammy Hagar the first time with my dad in South Lake Tahoe in 2017. He was playing with The Circle. And after I saw that show, that was the first time that I wanted to be a singer, just the way he was making, everyone happy and dancing around.
How old were you?
Oh, man. What was I? Probably about 15?
Oh, just not too long ago.
Not too long ago, no. No.
Hey, Dino is 17 years old, everyone. He's the lead singer of Red Voodoo. Check out Rise Up, the single. It's got like 11,000 listens on Spotify.
12,000.
Oh, we've reached 12,000 now.
Over 12,000, actually. Over 12,000.
Killer, man. Who would
Yeah.
have thunk, right?
I know, right?
Isn't it cool how you can have just a couple chords on a guitar and an idea that you're feeling and an emotion and then turn it into something that people respond to?
Man, it was really magical, I will say, from the moment that I sent you that track and then just our progress that, we've seen throughout, making the song. It was awesome.
So getting back to the show this Friday at the Monsters of Rock Cruise Studios down in Burbank, it's Friday at 6 p.m., July 31st. It's the Far Out Friday live stream, probably the first episode of Far Out Friday concerts. I'm planning on doing a bunch more here. Probably try to put out a show a month. I mean, why not, right?
Right, yeah. People need it.
Yeah.
Especially now.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do interviews. Britt Lightning's going to be there. JT Lux is going to be there jamming with his band. That's his debut as well.
Yeah, it's both our debuts.
Yeah, it's both the debut of Red Voodoo and JT Lux. And I'm going to do a little music myself. I might even do a little tribute to Mark Farner.
Yeah, you're going to pull off the I'm Your Captain, maybe?
I've been practicing I'm Your Captain, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so Mark Farner of Grand Funk is another vocal influence, huh?
Yeah, Grand Funk Railroad, that was the first record I ever bought. So, and they were also Van Halen's influences.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, if you listen to foot stomping music, it sounds a lot like Van Halen.
I know that one on keyboard.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to pick the perfect Grand Funk Railroad song for Red Voodoo to cover. We were going to do Some Kind of Wonderful.
Right.
But I think foot stomping music would be
Oh, I could play the keyboard on that. I know the lyrics and, I don't think you knew that.
I didn't
No.
know that, man. It's a surprise. But at this show, I'm going to probably pull out I'm Your Captain. I think I'm going to
You
do
think?
it.
You're saying it now, so,
I've been practicing it. And I'm going to email Mark back. 'Cause
Nice.
Mark Farner contacted us, and he digs Red Voodoo.
Yeah, that was super cool.
He digs the sound of the band. And I think Sammy's aware of you guys, too.
Yeah, he is. I reached out to Ken Jensen, who was the bodyguard back in the day for Van Halen since 5150, and is also the bodyguard of Bay Area band Y&T.
Yeah, Y&T is good friends of ours, man. And did you know that Y&T was actually going to be Sammy Hagar's backup band in the 70s?
No, I did not.
Yeah, a little trivia there for you.
Yeah, and Y&T is actually where I met Nick. That was where I met Nick, was at a Y&T show, Ace of Spades, Sacramento.
Right on. Nick is your drummer.
Yes.
Yes, I am. 2
So
years.
you guys started Red Voodoo.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and then you got Dave, your guitar player.
Yeah, so Dave actually, he started out on bass because we had a guitar player that he never played a show with us, but he had some scheduling conflicts, so we had to let him go.
Geez, go figure. Scheduling conflicts
Right.
in a band. Being in a band is very hard, people. When you have to coordinate 4 guys and then you got to coordinate other people all around, it's difficult.
Takes a village, for sure.
Okay, so Dave switched from bass to guitar.
Well, we
and-
figured out that, we were playing Van Halen songs at the time, but Dave walked in with his EVH Wolfgang plugged into my Marshall and just played Eruption like no one's business.
Dave smokes on the guitar, man.
Oh, yeah.
He smokes the Van Halen. And then enter Craigslist, and
Right.
he found this man right here.
Right.
Yep, and they found me.
And state your name and rank for the record.
My name is Drew.
Everyone, that's Drew. He's the bass player of Red Voodoo.
I'm the bass player. Yes.
But you were a guitar player.
I was a guitar player, yes.
Well, I want to tell you, man, and I'm not jiving you. Since I've started working with you guys, it's been so fun to hear your bass playing has improved. Have you been learning some stuff?
Yeah, I've been trying to use my fingers more, incorporate like the
Yeah.
slap sort of style. I never really thought that I would progress this far.
Well, it's been a lot of fun coaching you guys, man. We had a lot of fun recording Rise Up. We're in the middle of making a new EP. I'm really excited about the new songs. Mystery Girl, you guys are going to debut that at the Monsters of
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
live stream on Friday. What other songs are you going to play, Drew?
We're also going to play a song called KSA,
What does that stand for?
Kick Some Ass.
Kick Some Ass.
The song kicks ass.
It does.
Yes. It's very energetic. It's fun. Then we're also going to play a song we've had for kind of a while, but we recently improved, called Bring It Back.
Dude, and your bass licks on that song are kicking ass
Oh, it's
now.
I love it. It's so cool.
So what we did is we took an old song and we revamped it up. It's called Bring It Back, and we brought it back, didn't
Yeah.
we?
Yep. Yep.
I'm looking forward to hearing that one live. It's a great song, and you and David do like a double harmony.
Oh, yeah, the harmony. Yeah.
Harmony, bass, and lead guitar playing together.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool hearing those tunes. But I do want to get back to the Sammy Hagar section of the show, because during that section, we're going to invite our good friend Britt Lightning to jam with you.
Yeah, we're all excited to meet her, too.
Oh, she's awesome, man. I met her on the Monsters of Rock cruise here, and she's a great friend, killer guitar player. I'm really excited to hear her jamming with you guys on Only One Way to Rock.
We're really excited about that song, we played that song teaser playing our covers, and to hear the Live Without a Net with Britt on it will be really cool.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, we're doing the Van Halen version
Yeah,
of
it's the
it.
Van Halen version of it.
So that's going to be a tribute to Sammy. We're also going to do heavy metal and one more old classic. I don't want to give away the whole bag of tricks here, so
Yeah.
I don't want to tell everybody what we're doing, but we are doing a tribute to Sammy Hagar. If anybody listening knows Sammy, would you please get a hold of him and let him know to tune in.
My number is 6. No, I'm sorry.
Tune in on Friday, July 31st to the Monsters of Rock Cruise Facebook live stream concert that we are doing. It's with Red Voodoo, JT Lux, myself, Frank Hannon, and our special guest, Britt Lightning. Be sure to tune in. We'll see you there Friday night. Yeah, that's Britt Lightning burning up the fretboard right there on that guitar. Britt Lightning will be joining us Friday, July 31st to jam with Red Voodoo, JT Lux, and myself from the Monsters of Rock Cruise Studios Facebook live stream page. Be sure to check out the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp Masterclasses hosted by Britt Lightning. You are listening to the Far Out Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Hannon. It is day 5 of the Monsters of Rock Cruise. I'm not sure. I've kind of lost count. And I've made some new friends on this cruise. One of them is Britt Lightning, the lead guitarist of Vixen, and she's joining me now on the Far Out Podcast. Good morning, Britt. How are you?
Hi, I'm so great. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm sad that the cruise is almost over.
Right. This is the last day, I guess. I guess we got to get off the ship tomorrow. You did find my luggage tags outside the door. Thank you.
Yep. And all your disembarking information is there. If you have any further questions, you can go to guest services.
Well, thank you for that information. The theme of the Far Out Podcast is I've talked to musicians who play guitar, play drums, whatever, but they also do other things outside of the box. And I discovered that you love horses like I do.
I sure do. Yep. I grew up on a horse farm in Massachusetts, and I've been riding since I was about 10. My first experience with horses, I was shipped off to a horse camp. I was kind of an unruly kid. And, my dad had grown up on a dairy farm in Vermont and was just used to the hard work and hard labor. And he was like, I want my kids to grow up with that work ethic and the patience and, learning how to take care of things. And so, yeah, it's been ingrained in me, but I love horses.
Yeah, so you're a country girl at heart then.
I sure am, yeah. I like a little mix of the city and the country, but yeah, nothing beats the country.
I am talking to Britt Lightning. She's the lead guitarist of Vixen. Picture this, killer, flashy lead guitarist, but also a country girl mucking stalls.
Yeah, I've had my share of mucking stalls. I sure have. And I actually enjoy it.
I do too.
It's therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
Even just like, the smell and putting down the fresh shavings and baling hay and everything. There's something like special about that.
Yeah, the smell of horses, and really the smell of horse shit is not that bad.
It's really not. It's really not.
So we were talking a little bit about horsemanship and how horses can put you in a zone. Horses have taught me to really put myself in a zone of not necessarily doing what I feel, just kind of being lackadaisical, but actually really having to go for things. And would you find that's true?
It is so true, because the horse they're depending on you and you're in control. And if you're unsure of yourself, they're unsure and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So it's almost like you have to be on for the horse. So it's kind of like a larger purpose. So I feel like that's why it's easier for me, at least, to do it. But when I get on a horse, like right away, my posture's good and I'm just alert and in control. And as soon as I get off, I'm like slouching or just, not caring or just more lazy. And so it changes your whole mindset. I grew up doing a lot of hunter jumper competitions, and in jumping, you get further advanced and you do these big 4-foot jumps and stuff, and you can't hesitate. You have to be all in. You're coming up on a jump, and if you have any doubt in your heart or mind at all as you're coming up to that jump, your horse is sensing that, and you could be really screwed.
Right.
I mean, because then if the horse thinks you're doubting it, then they doubt it, and they'll just stop. You can fall off, you could die. I mean, God, there's been some crazy accidents, so you have to be all in.
All in, that's right. Yeah, you can't doubt or hesitate at all.
Yeah.
And so with hunter jumping, I don't know much about it, but it's a lot of forward motion. I mean, you have to go.
Yeah, there's a course and a pattern. You get judged on, the way you take the jumps, your horse's etiquette, how they look like they're kind of fidgeting with the bit or acting out. And then the hunter one's fun because it's always a pretty landscape and you're jumping over like logs or chicken coops and things like that.
Right.
But you gotta... I mean, there's always so much nerves when you're competing and you're at those shows. And the horses all sense it from the other horses, too. So it's like they're depending on you. So
Well, they're a pack animal. That's a prey animal. And that's one of the things I've learned about them is that they're always looking for a leader and looking for the leader in their herd to follow, right? So us as humans, we have to learn that. I've learned that from horsemanship, that you have to be in the moment and make that commitment.
yeah, and focused and just present.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it helps me, even before shows sometimes if I'm feeling really scattered, like meditating and stuff and just like breathing into just like being present and not distracted and just having clarity and kind of having just like tunnel vision. Okay, this is my job, this is the end goal, and this is how I'm going to get there, and like, let's go, and no doubts.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast with Mike Tyson, and it was really fascinating to me. He would be scared shitless in the dressing room getting ready to walk into the ring. And by the time he got to the ring, he had put himself in that zone of like, it's do or die. I've got to do this. And so there was no hesitating for him when he would get in the ring. And I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because, I know even, like, I've had some gigs where, there'd be really tough songs. When I was playing for this Latin artist, Alejandro Sanz, there was this bridge section, with a lot of kind of crazy flamenco-y chords and stuff. And I would just get tripped up on this one section at every show. And, the first couple shows, I was like thinking about it. It's all I could think about the whole show until it happened. And then sure enough, since I was thinking like that, it wasn't as perfect as it could have been. And then as soon as I just like put it out of my mind and just like adjusted my mindset and just was like, everything's going to be fine. Like, I know this. I've done it 1,000 times. I do it perfect in my bedroom. Like, there's no reason that this shouldn't work out right here, right now, just because there's some other people in the room, right? And then it passes by you. You don't mess up. You don't even realize it went by already. And you're like, oh, and then you're in that, like, kind of out-of-body experience zone where
The zone, yeah.
The mind is so powerful. The brain is incredible.
Yeah. And through practice, I mean, I've finally figured out that through practicing, you can get more relaxed. Because with what we do with the cutting, you have to actually slow down, and there's a lot more backing and stopping and backing, but you have to walk into a herd and be really convicted, and the horse is reading you. Okay, which cow are we going to pick out here? But you have to be really calm and relaxed. I need to calm down right now.
We're getting all worked up about this stressful situation.
Yeah, but so it's just like music. Okay, so let's switch over to your guitar playing. So we were jamming last night. We played Stranglehold. I noticed your licks. You have an old school style of playing. We were trading some licks off. Who are some of your biggest guitar influences?
Well, I initially picked up the guitar because of Eddie Van Halen. And when I started playing the first few years, I was really shreddy and stuff and really into tapping and sweeping and, all that kind of stuff.
The fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff. And then like a lot of Dimebag influence, a lot of, Randy Rhoads, Zakk Wylde, Jakey Lee, all those guys. And just more on the metal side, though. And then lately, it's been more like Stevie Ray Vaughan, David Gilmour, Joe Walsh.
Yeah. Slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. Like feeling more of like one bend than 80 notes. But both equally impressive, but sometimes even less can be more.
How long have you been playing guitar with Vixen?
3 years, I'd say. This is my third Monsters of Rock cruise with them. I did one Monsters of Rock cruise before that, and it was right after that I flew straight from the cruise. I played on here with a different band. I flew straight from the cruise to Cher's house in Florida and had my audition. So, and then after that, that was it.
And before that, you had told me you went to South America and did some tours.
Yes, I was playing for an amazing Latin artist, and
And what was his name again?
Alejandro Sanz.
Okay.
He's kind of like, I don't know, I kind of think of him as like the Bruce Springsteen of Spain. He's kind of that vibe, very soulful. And but
How'd you land that gig?
well, so I had my own band for quite a while called Jaded. It was this all-girl rock band. I started doing that when I was about 16. And then, you know, it's a lot of work doing an original band and not making a lot of money and keeping everybody happy. And
It's a lot of work, even if you are making money.
yeah, right. Maybe money.
People don't
complicates
realize how much work this really is. I mean,
it's a lot. It's a dedication.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated
if
because
people knew how much work went into putting a song together and every part of it.
it's true. Yeah. And also, like, I don't know how you are with songwriting, but, you know, like, we're working on a new studio album now with Vixen. And, like, I feel like I could revisit a song 1,000 times and keep revising it and keep, oh, this bridge could be better. And, you know, so you can get stuck too. So sometimes it's good to just have somebody like outside to just be like, okay, you guys are done. That's it. That version is fine. There's no more tweaks.
Right.
Move on. Get it done.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
Deadlines are important. But yeah, so anyways, I kind of was at a little lull with the band, and one of my friends said, you got to just start auditioning for people. Have you ever auditioned for anyone? And I said, no. And they were like, yeah, it's great. If you're a guitar player for hire, you just show up and play guitar. And you don't have to worry about anything else.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, that does sound good. So my first audition was for Lady Gaga, and she was replacing her whole band for this Monster Ball tour. I came really close to getting the gig. It was between me and one other guy. And I rehearsed with her and her newly formed band for about a week. And then at the end, she ended up picking the other guy. And I just thought, like, that was it. I thought, oh, I lost my whole opportunity. Maybe I should just go into a different field. You know, like one audition and I didn't get it. And I was just like, well, must not be my calling. So I was really bummed. And but then about 6 months later, I got a phone call from somebody that I met at the audition. They were auditioning for bass for her. Didn't get it either, but they had played for Alejandro in the past and said he's looking for a new guitar player and he wants to change things up and I think you'd be perfect. So he sent me a YouTube link and was like, would you be interested in this? And it was like the stadium, and the crowd was so loud I couldn't even hear the band or his singing at all. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm interested. And so that's how that happened. So sometimes things happen for a reason. When you think things aren't going your way, and, you know, sometimes it's meant to be, you know, sometimes you can wind up at the same destination, but you take the scenic route instead of the direct route, but sometimes that's prettier anyways. So
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you're just going through this really hard time and it's like, oh man, this really sucks. And then next thing you know, you realize it led you to a better place. And
yeah, and the journey is important.
Yeah.
The roller coaster of emotions is important because you learn from that.
Yeah, and it's definitely a roller coaster ride in rock and roll, that's for sure.
Always.
Yeah. Like Grace Slick said, when it's great, it's real great. And when it's bad, it's real bad, you know.
Yeah.
But you get through it. You got to go through it to get to it. Definitely. Well, that's a great story. So you auditioned for Lady Gaga. You were down in the dumps because it didn't work out. And then it led you to stadiums.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing tour. We went all over, and it was a 3-year run with that. And so that was quite the experience. That was, yeah.
How did that lead you to Vixen?
So I was in South America a lot, and I kept missing the winters in Boston. I was still living in Boston at the time. And so when the tour ended, I came home in the winter in February, and it was just one of the most brutal snowstorms we ever had. And the streets were shut down for like 4 days, all the restaurants, everything. And I was just stuck in my condo and just having some wine by myself. And I was like, I'm so over this. I think I want to go to LA, you know? And I always had a poster of LA on my walls growing up. So I was like, that's time. So I started to pack up. I had everything ready to go. I was going to leave in just a couple days. And then I got a call for a different gig that came from the Alejandro thing, actually, for a top 40 act. And so I ended up postponing my trip out to LA a little bit, did that tour. But it was a lot of back and forth between LA and New York, doing a lot of like radio, TV stuff with this artist. So I got a good feel for LA before actually moving out there. And then, I came out 4 years ago. I've been out in LA for 4 years. And I just started playing around the local bars and clubs and the jam scenes and stuff. and I was playing at the Lucky Strike in Hollywood. Actually doing a jam for a pre-party for the Monsters of Rock cruise. Vixen's manager was there, and so he had seen me, and I think I had been referred by some other people to him and the girls as well. Yeah.
Well, you're a hard worker, see? So all that hard work that your dad made you do in the barn, it paid off because you never gave up.
Right. Yep. Yeah,
Really?
you gotta be
You went through the ups and downs, and you moved out to L.A., which is a very competitive area.
Yeah, so many awesome musicians. Yeah.
You have a website?
Yes, BrittLightning.com, and then Vixen is VixenOfficial.com, and we're on Instagram and Facebook too. And yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you for listening to the Far Out Podcast, Episode 20, the Far Out Friday Preview. Be sure to check out Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp Masterclasses and the Monsters of Rock Cruise Studios Facebook Livestream Concert Series.